All right, Cubs fam, I am super excited today to bring back a series that we used to do a lot on this channel, and a lot of people have been requesting for this to come back, and that is the whale/community chat, where we bring on some heavy spenders in the game, and we also decided to start throwing in some free-to-play players in there so we can all come together and talk about things that are going on in the community. And obviously we got a lot going on right now with Ahsoka Tano, Kenobi coming, we got conquest changes, and a ton of stuff to discuss with what I think is one of the best road aheads ever. But before we get into that, we got a sponsorship for today's video. And what do we have here, my friends? It is the amazing new mobile RPG, Darkfire Heroes, and it's completely free. Download in the link below in the description. You can collect, upgrade, and play as crazy powerful, common, rare, and epic heroes. Just look at how many awesome ones there are to choose from. Battle your way through armies of deadly monsters, of ghouls, in this non-stop, real-time strategic RPG that's changing the way RPGs are played on mobile forever. There's even a whole new adventure waiting for you with the brand new real-time PvP, where you can battle your own friends and claim your title as the true Darkfire hero. Now guys, if you download this today, the Cubs fam is going to be taken care of. We got our own special new player bonus that I'm showing on the screen right now. Just look at this guy, the game changer we've all been waiting for, Lorenzo, who slays all of the bosses. So guys, if you're looking for a fast-paced RPG, go ahead and check it out. Download in the link in the description, and I'll see you on the battlefield, my friends. All right, let's get right into it. I'm going to introduce to you guys the crew that we got today for the whale chat. Furball, Nemesis, Stark Holdings, and you got some of you guys might know Urzatron. I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but that guy is, you know, small streamer. You know, he's here too. So let's start with some introductions. Furball, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of where your spending is at on the game. Like, where are you at on the spectrum? How long you've been playing? How much you spending? That kind of thing. Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to ask you to start again. I accidentally had you muted. Go ahead again.
No, that's okay. I've been playing since 3 months after release. I currently sit at 5.9 million GP.
Nice.
I spent near in the close $10,000 to $20,000 range. I'm no longer spending after the first release of Relics. I no longer have spent since that day.
Okay.
And that's where I'm at.
So you made a commitment that day and you're holding to it.
Holding to it. I've not spent since.
All right, great. Well, Furball, again, if you guys have seen all the whale chats, you've seen Furball before, but thanks again for joining us. Now the Sex Panther.
It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries.
Nemesis, you guys know him, especially if you come to my Twitch streams. Nem, how you doing today?
Good, man. Just pretending to work.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys here working from home while we're putting this together. Yeah. Yeah, I think literally all of you, right? That's funny. So Nem, tell us where you're at on the spectrum. I know you whale. You're whaling.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm on the higher end. So I have 2 accounts. One is just shy of 8.4 mil. And the other one, my alt account, has just eclipsed 7.1.
Wow. And you are an energy hoarder. I don't have a screenshot to show everybody, and this will come into play later in the chat, I think. But Nem has saved up how much energy now?
When I checked it this morning, I was at 44,300 on my main account.
I would love to find out if anybody has more than that. If you have more than that, let me know, and I will love your comment. All right, Stark Holdings. Tell us a little bit about yourself. This is your first whale chat.
It is. Hey, guys. So first of all, Cubs, I'm super stoked. I was actually going to reach to you. I've been working with Cubs on some mentoring around just trying to figure out how to stream and stuff. And also has been super helpful. I was actually going to reach to you, Cubs, just to say, like, this series that you did a while back was super insightful. I really loved hearing the perspectives of the different people and when they started playing, you know, and how their evolution of using and enjoying the game has evolved. For me, I started playing about the same time. I think I started playing about the same time the game came out. And for me, it's been kind of a constant, like, I'm more of a grinder type person. I'm more of like, do my dailies, get the rewards, that type thing. I definitely started whaling, I think, around the period of relics. Like when relics dropped, I was like, man, like I was like, even one or two of these bright circle ones is going to be challenging. But now it's like almost my whole roster is relic, honestly.
I just got to point something out. This is really funny because Furball stopped whaling with relics and you started with relics.
Right. Yeah, for me, it was
you
like
erased what Furball accomplished.
It was the CG-induced power creep, and I was like, I can't keep up with this, right? And then, really funny. And then I started an alt account. I started probably 6 to 9 months ago, and then I promptly forgot about it, right? Like I got busy with my day job, which I'm supposed to be doing right now. And so I just kind of forgot about it. Plus, it's on BlueStacks, which is kind of trash. Anyway, so I'm telling you this whole narrative to say that I started when I started talking with you Cubs a few weeks back, right, and Urs, trying to learn how could I actually maybe stream something myself. I suddenly got religion around, having my alt be at least not laughable, so I could use it for some additional footage and stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, I just bowed down to the ATM gods because I was like, I just can't bring myself to farm Ezra. Like, he's trash, but I need Thrawn, right? So I was just like, I'm going to drop some cash. Like, I bought the pack that gives me Bosk and gives me the Houndstooth. There's some like $50 pack that was like basically gives you like 6-star clones across the board. And I was like, yeah, that sounds sweet. So cool. I haven't done the math, but I'm pretty sure that I'm in the like high single digits or maybe maybe more than that of thousands of dollars. I mean, I've dropped some cash. I'm not going to lie.
Cool.
I don't know exactly. I purposely haven't done the math because I think it would probably send me into cardiac arrest.
Probably best to not then. So we got former whales, we got new whales, and then Urs, welcome to the chat. Obviously, Urs needs no introduction. You guys know Urzatron. But in terms of like you're whaling on the game, Urs, just so everyone can know where you're at. I from what I understand, you weren't spending anymore. I think that I might have heard that this galactic legend is tempting you though.
Yeah. Hello everyone. So what I'll say is, for those of you guys who want to know, I've played the game since January 2016. So not quite launched, but shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
Additionally, obviously been a content creator for some time, so that makes spending a little bit easier in the game, because a lot of it's funded by the channel. I've spent $8,000 in this game, so it's a lot. It's a lot of money, but it's a part-time job for me as well. So
Can I ask a clarifying question, Urs?
Sure.
Does that include the hot tub or no?
well, we actually finished our basement, which was paid for by the channel. So there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
But anyways, $8,000 for me. I haven't spent since Jedi Knight Luke came out. I did whale for Jedi Knight Luke.
I remember that.
BTL Y-Wing shortly before that. Those are the last times I whaled. And it really sort of put a kind of not a great taste in my mouth because I was already kind of negative about the game back then. And then I whaled on Jedi Knight Luke, ended up walking away from the game for about 4 months. And that is a long time for a game like this. There's a lot that goes on in 4 months, I'll say. And ended up coming back and sort of open to the idea of whaling again. Because I am having fun with the game. I think the game's in a very good place. The drought of new players coming into the game seems to have stopped. For whatever reason, at the start of this year, late last year with the new game modes, I've seen a lot of new faces in Twitch and on YouTube, and I think that's very encouraging. So I'm open to the idea of spending, and I will say we'll get there. If it would have been Fallen Anakin announced, I probably would be whaling at this point.
Well, we'll talk about this because that could be coming next. So thank you, Urs, and I think all of us should. I know I definitely respect whatever you decide to do. When it comes to whaling, it's something that we've talked about a lot on these chats. Is whale free to play? Everyone just be zen, okay? Whatever someone decides to do with their money is their decision. and let them worry about whatever consequences come or don't come because of that. So, all right, let's get right into this one. We've got 4 subjects. I'm just going to outline the show for you guys, and we'll try to keep this thing under 30 minutes if we can. That leaves us about 20 more minutes. Might go a little bit longer, and that's okay. So first and foremost, we want to talk about the 1GL format, okay? This is a change. We've had 2 rounds of GLs. Both came in pairs. CG cited a few reasons why they're doing 1 at a time now, and I'd love to get the thoughts of the group here on that. Maul and Anakin, I think, are probably the 2, pretty much the only 2 characters I can fathom would be the next GL at this point after Kenobi. And they did confirm that there would be a GL that goes with Kenobi. They're just releasing them 1 at a time. And so we're going to kind of speculate a little bit on that. I think there's some arguments for both that make sense. Data disk movement. We didn't forget, CG. I know you tried to make us forget that you got rid of cooling systems with some great character announcements, but we still noticed, and we're going to talk about it. And then also have a little bit of a discussion on where Ahsoka Tano is going to fit into all of this. My initial thought was she'd fit in a Kenobi team, obviously. Now I'm not so sure. And we'll talk a little bit about why that would be. So let's start with the 1GL format. Now, I've seen very positive feedback on this. I think most people here, I would speculate, are probably okay with that. But I want to go straight to Nem, because Nem is one of the only people I know that does not like 1 at a time. And I have some, in my mind, speculation on why that might be. But Nem, I'll let you tell everyone kind of your stance on the 1GL thing.
Yeah, I'm against 1GL at a time. And I understand the reason why they're doing it. It's so that they can milk more money out of people. But I prefer to have 2 of them at one time, just because I would rather have it where people have to make the decision of what they really want to go for. So whenever...
So you liked the decision.
I like the decision. I want people to have to choose, and that choice is what determines what happens. So like with me and my main account, you know, I'm seeing people that get the GLs very quickly. So a lot of time, whenever, you know, the first 2 came out, I was seeing 1 GL as soon as it came up, and then I was seeing 2, and then everything like that. So I like seeing it that way with 2, because then you get that little bit of a differ in it. And with this, by doing it this way, I feel like you're just going to see everybody have it, and then as soon as the next one comes out, maybe 2 months after they release the first one, everybody's going to have it, and then it's going to ruin that variety that you had. So it's going to just take variety away from it. I would rather have the choice, personally.
Interesting. Now, okay, I have to ask, because my speculation was this had something to do with you hoarding enough energy for both at once. It has nothing to do with that.
I mean, it's nice to have the energy to hoard for both. Like for me, I wanted to have both of them as quickly as possible. And I, you know, if they were releasing 2 at a time, I have enough energy where I probably would still be able to get both of them day 1 and get at least the ultimate on one of them. But for me, it's more of, I want more diversity, and by doing 2 at a time, you get that diversity more than 1.
Okay. All right. Great take, Nem, and I think those are valid arguments. By the way, I do want to call out Bumchin, dropped 10 subs on us while we were doing this. Thank you so much, Bumchin. Really appreciate that. Okay, anyone want to debate Nem on that? Any different takes on that?
I mean, I love Nem and I love his comments. I think it is an interesting perspective. I actually had not thought about it in that lens before. So maybe I should change my vote based on what he said, because I do like the idea of having to pick and having to determine which one you want to go for. I also feel like, as someone who like teeters on the edge of whaling and sometimes does and sometimes doesn't, to me, I feel like it's kind of nicer, because I think, like the deployable cooling systems announcement, a lot of times the other one that you're less interested in just kind of gets like it just kind of goes by. You don't really think that much about it, and I think this gives him a more ability to release banner content that's interesting to people, and hopefully will maintain engagement with the game more. And for me, it makes it less likely that I'm going to come across a whale who just instantly gets both of them and is like going to kill me in GAC. So I kind of like the idea of doing one at a time. Plus, it lets us as a community debate what's coming next, versus now we're like, oh, here's the next two. So I think that's also kind of cool. I think I like this new idea.
We'll have to see how it goes, and I think a lot of it, good points both of you made. I think you covered both sides of that argument. Let's move on. I do want to, and I apologize if somebody had something else they wanted to add there, but I do want to keep the show moving towards Maul or Anakin. So just like Stark Holdings just said, we've got two characters that make sense to come with Kenobi, right? Either you've got Maul, who is, from a lore perspective, I think makes a lot more sense. He is Kenobi's nemesis. I think maybe Maul views Kenobi as his nemesis more than Kenobi views Maul as his nemesis, probably. I think that relationship might not be totally equal on the passion, but still, nonetheless, it would be Maul. But if we're looking at it in the lens of the Revenge of the Sith, which is the character model they are choosing for Kenobi, Maul has nothing to do with Revenge of the Sith. He's not even mentioned to my knowledge, and it's pretty much going to be Anakin, which we had a spirited debate in my Twitch chat yesterday about this, and I think that the most sensible title we came up with was Lord Vader, in parentheses, suitless, because he is not Anakin at this point during the Battle of the Heroes, of course. He is Lord Vader at this point, and so we call him Fallen Anakin a lot. I think it's highly, highly, highly unlikely he would actually be called Fallen Anakin in game. So, Urs, I want to go to you. What do you think it is, Urs? Maul or Anakin? Or, I mean, maybe there's a third character I'm not thinking of.
There's no way this can be anything but Fallen Anakin. There's just no way. Fallen Anakin's been one of the most requested characters for such a long time. And we're specifically talking about the scar, the hood, the whole look with the eyes. Like that's the character we're getting here. There's no argument that can be made to say that Darth Maul would even be considered here. Like it's just so crazy to me that people are trying to make that argument. It's the same people that are saying that Cam's going to be a requirement. Like I don't see it, man. Like they showed, Obi-Wan Kenobi from Revenge of the Sith. If you look at this came up on my stream last night. If you look at the journey guide and you look at the description, it specifically references Anakin. So it's going to be Fallen Anakin 100%. And again, if they would announce this first, I would have gone all in here.
Yeah. So I personally agree with you. The only thing I disagree on is I do think there's a debate, and I think that there is an angle where Maul could make sense. But I agree in the sense that I think Anakin makes a lot more sense in this. And also, I'm going to state very clearly, I will eat my shorts if Cam is required. I do not think we need to worry about Cam being a requirement.
There is zero chance. And what I'll say about Maul, I think we are getting a Maul, and I think it's going to be the equivalent to Commander Tano, Commander Ahsoka.
Why not both?
I agree with that.
Why not both? When it comes to Cam, I think something that, because people do freak out about this, I hope something that you guys consider when it comes to the Cam debate is how few people are able to access a 7-star Cam right now. The only way for them to do that, to include Cam, is if they now all of a sudden make Cam a character you can buy or farm in other ways, which they're not going to do because that undermines the investment of all these guilds into this character in light side Geonosis territory battles. And so I would not get too worked up about that. I would not worry about that personally.
100%.
Okay. Furball, what do you think? Maul or Anakin?
Anakin, hands down. I agree with hers. I'm not doubting that Maul would be important or Maul could be a conquest character, whatever the case may be. Fallen Anakin has been a requested character for years now, and finally, ever since Galactic Legends was announced, everybody, and I don't know a single person that doesn't, everybody wanted Episode 3, General Kenobi, Fallen Anakin. I don't see them, without a doubt, going into a Fallen Anakin. Now, the name, on the other hand, I don't know, Lord Vader, Darth Vader, unsuited. I don't know what the name would be. My best guess would probably be Lord Vader.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt in my mind that it would be Anakin. And as a no longer spender, if Fallen Anakin comes out, that'll be when I wail one more time. I will wail for that character.
We're gonna get him.
That'll get me. That'll get me. I'll wail for that.
Yeah, I think that says everything you need to know, right? I mean, Maul would be exciting. Don't get me wrong. Could Maul be on a galactic legend level? I think you could probably see that. But Anakin, I mean, that's, I think, what's going to make the community's knees weak. And I think what people are going to really go all out on. And it honestly makes me hesitant to go too all out on Kenobi. Because like I kind of want to, like, I think this is deliberate, right? They're going to want people to go for Kenobi and then be depleted on resources, and then boom, here's Anakin. How can you resist this?
I'm gonna do that. I'm going for Kenobi. I'm a light side guy. I don't care about Anakin. I mean, I like Anakin. Clearly, he's like kind of a big part of like the Star Wars storyline. But like for me, I'm like, last night I started gearing up fucking Mace and what's her name? The blue woman that can't remember. Yeah, and also Boca Trash. Like, I'm just like, yeah, here I go. I'm gonna start buying gear as soon as I can get it because I want to get them geared up because like I want to be the first one on stream to go hello there.
Nem's gonna beat you. Nem's gonna have it faster than anyone.
That's dope. I dig it. No, I love it.
In the first hour.
So,
Sweet, man.
Anyone else? Let's see. We've heard from Furball and Urs. Stark sounds like, and Nem. Are you guys in agreement? You think it's Fallen Anakin?
It's got to be Anakin. As much as I hate to agree with Urs, just kidding. I mean, it's got to be Anakin, right? I'm with Urs 100%. Like it, there's no way this is not going to be a Fallen Anakin or whatever they call him.
To me, there's 4 characters that I think it could be. Fallen Anakin seems. Yeah, I've listed 4 that I think it could be.
I'm really interested in the other 2.
Does make the most sense to me.
Okay.
Maul also makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
What also makes sense is the art of Kenobi is whenever he battles Grievous. So could that be a hint as to what you're getting? So there's that, my thought on Grievous. The other thought I have, and this is the least likely, but what about a Dooku? Every time they battled, Dooku was always Kenobi's biggest adversary whenever it came to a fight.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that is one of the least likely. Grievous is one I haven't even thought about. And that is an actual battle from Revenge of the Sith, which we were watching that on stream the other day to try to get ideas of what would his ultimate be. That was an appropriate cough there. I don't think that it's going to be Grievous, but it's an interesting idea. To me, I think it's a follow the money kind of consideration. What's going to get Furball to start spending again? What's going to get everyone else to just feel like they cannot resist? And I don't think anybody comes close to that in that group other than Fallen Anakin.
I love my Fallen Anakin, but I'll tell you right now, Nemesis, I will race you if it is a Galactic Legends Grievous. I will race you to who gets him first.
Wow.
That's my thing.
So Grievous would do it too.
I think if it's any of those first 3, whether it be Grievous, Maul, or Anakin, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to go for any of those 3.
Yeah. I want it to be Fallen Anakin, and then I want the next 2 that drop to be like Mandalore Siege Ahsoka with like maybe a Rebel or Mandalore tag, and then I want mechanical spider legs Maul, who's just gonna look dope.
The spider legs Maul would be unlikely, I think, but amazing. I think more.
I know
we'd probably get just the robot legs Maul. Is probably it.
I just think it'd be cool.
I'm gonna throw a point too. If you look at Star Wars right now, all like the big main characters of the whole entire franchise. In the game, they all have 3 characters. Think about it. Anakin's the only one who doesn't have 3 yet. He has Jedi Knight Anakin and Vader. He does not have his 3rd form yet.
General Skywalker.
So, I'm going to go shut up now.
Well, if we're
Totally
not
forgot about gas.
if we're not including Vader, I think.
If we're not including Vader, yes. Okay, there we go.
All right, I saved you there. I saved you. That's what you
Thank
meant,
you.
right?
Appreciate you. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Cubs knew what I meant.
All right, I knew what you meant. All right, moving along. Let's talk about data discs, okay? And then we'll close out the show talking about Ahsoka, who I might be more excited about, honestly, right now, because she's a character that I'm probably going to be able to get very early on. Data disk movement. So we've deleted deployable cooling systems, and we have another couple data disks, which, to my knowledge, the other data disks they mentioned, which let me pull them up right now. I'll toss them on screen right now. We've got these data disks. Where are they? Wasn't it in not in that part? Here it is. So deployable cooling systems is dead, dread is dead, and quickening. And those three are being replaced by something called entrenched, conveyors, agility, and future vision. To my knowledge, we don't know what entrenched, conveyors, agility, or future vision do, right?
No.
Okay.
We don't.
So before we overreact too much, we don't know what these do, but I think we could all probably predict that deployable cooling systems was one that might get the axe because it was just so cheesed in so many different ways with so many different characters. Yoda, Vader, even Moff Gideon found some cheeses there. So how does everyone feel about this? I'll just let maybe Furball. Let's start with you. You're free to play now. How do you feel about the adjustment in data disks? I'm losing you right now. Is anyone else hearing him?
No.
Okay. You're lighting up green, Furball, but we're not hearing you. I might need you to restart your app and come back. Urs, I'd love to get your take on this.
I sort of don't mind the removal of deployable cooling systems. I feel like it was just an easy crutch for a lot of people for the last, 3 conquests.
I agree.
Say that again, Urs. I think Furball came in and
so I sort of think deployable cooling systems sort of ruins the experience of conquest. Because if you just rely on that, like, you're basically just doing the whole thing throughout and you're getting max rewards, and it sort of defeats the purpose of having a good new game mode where you're actually playing and trying different stuff. Like, I think what's fascinating about conquest is like the weird discs, like that healer one that converts healing to offense. Like, that sort of stuff could be really cool if we had more healers in the game and more people had those sort of things. But removing things like deployable cooling systems, which are clearly like broken, maybe they knew it would be broken, but maybe they thought it was a way to like garner good interest in the game mode or make it easier for some people. I'm okay with them removing it, and they didn't say it's going to be like gone forever, so it could come back. I don't know. It just felt like a way of just like sort of making the new game mode sort of like irrelevant already. So I'm okay with them pulling that out.
And I think they knew it was broken too. I remember even I got a little video clip from Crumb where he sent me a video of his CLS doing call to action 5 times in a row. And because he had massively overpowered on it, he took out the whole enemy team just by swinging his saber in the air.
Yeah, I mean,
so I think they do. I think they do.
That's a good point. That's Urs, I never really thought about that, but I think because think about it, like all the hype videos and like, oh, this mode's broken and it's so dope and you can solo it with Vader. Like maybe that was the mindset. I totally agree with what Urs said as well. Is like I feel like last time I honestly didn't even read the modifiers on the different squads because you didn't need to. It's like, who cares? Like, you could just just throw a saber with Vader 24/7 and you can just mow down all of the stuff. So I'm totally fine as well with them nerfing it or pulling it out or making it more random when they include it.
It's it's good to be self-aware, and that's something that I respect about this perspective, Starkeners, is what's really best for the game mode, right? But yeah. I mean, deployable cooling systems was fun though. So there's a fun aspect of it for me where I'm like, oh man, it's fun. And so I hope we see it again, or maybe it's a data disk where, or maybe it's a consumable, you can only use it for.
I'm going to solve it for you. Here you go. CG, here's the answer is just monetize it.
Wow, this
Put
guy.
it in the Wandering Scavenger and make it 400 crystals. Done.
There you go.
All right.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Furball. What do you think about the change in data discs?
I think it's good. It has its good and its bad. Spices it up, kind of adds us a little different things. But I also think with the deployable cooldowns, yes, it is a bit of a cheese, but there is other data discs out there that also make it extremely easy, like Leader's Resolve, for example. You know, taking a Galactic Legend in the lead or Gas in the lead, for example. You know, you can still do it without deployable cooldowns. Will it be missed? Sure. You know, I personally, in the last conquest that we did, I didn't even grab it once, and I still almost maxed it out. You know, and in this round, after they announced, they said they're going to get rid of it. I was like, well, the hell with it. I'm going to just get it and use it while I can. So like, I'm kind of all for it. I'm really excited to see the other data disc they're going to use to replace it. But it was a bit of a cheese, yes. But it's not like it's going to still be. It's not like it's going to be impossible now to do so without that one data disc.
Right. Okay.
Or even so, keep the data disc, but instead of having it only take up one slot, you can take up 3. You know, I think that would also be a good fix, making it harder to have other data discs with it.
Yeah. Or decrease the percentages and
exactly. Yeah,
things,
something like that.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we'll just have to wait and see how it feels. Of course, I feel like with the other new data discs coming, we'll just have to see what those do as well. And that's actually something I'm glad that they're doing this early on. One reason why is I think something I would like to see for Conquest is that those data discs change out on a regular basis. And so setting that precedent, so long as it doesn't just continually make the data disc less and less relevant, like I'd really like them to be a very inclusive part of the overall strategy of Conquest as a game mode, kind of like what Urs was talking about. So, all right, let's wrap this thing up then. We got one more subject to cover, and that's my girl, Commander Ahsoka Tano. I don't know about you guys. I was probably more excited about this announcement even than the thanks for the gifted sub, even the Kenobi announcement, because Ahsoka's just maybe my favorite character in all of Star Wars. But specifically what I want to talk about is we got the Kenobi team coming, obviously. I think my personal prediction is that Kenobi has to be a Jedi. They're going to want him working with Jedi, but they're not going to want him to be just under a Jedi lead again, or under a Jedi Revan lead, I would hope. They're probably not going to want him to be part of either of those existing teams. And so I kind of see the Jedi Council tag coming with this. But either way, Ahsoka Tano doesn't really fit into this because she's not a Jedi. This is Season 7 Ahsoka Tano. Season 7 Clone Wars. So there's no Jedi tag here. Concretely, no Jedi tag. So I'm a little bit intrigued about what they're going to do with her and a little bit nervous because we already saw Fulcrum come to the game, and because she didn't really synergize with anybody, she was kind of out in the dust, not really doing anything. So what do you guys think they're going to do with Ahsoka Tano from a tag perspective and from a synergy perspective?
Look at how many options. Or go ahead.
I'll say this before I have to head out here. She really doesn't have a place or a home, but I feel like hopefully if they take good advantage of this and take advantage of this opportunity with this character, you could give her a unique ability that would dictate her tags based off of who the leader is. And I feel like with that concept, she could fit in on any team, kind of like a Thrawn or a Wat Tambor, for example. She could fit in on any team and get tags based off of who the leader is in the team. I feel like that would probably be the best way to approach her.
Interesting
you're right.
idea.
She's not really a Jedi. She's not really a rebel at that point. She doesn't really have a home.
Yeah. Okay. I like that adopting kind of idea to it because she really does. She works with clones. She works with Jedi in Season 7. She fights Maul very, very proficiently. She captures him, right? Spoilers. So yeah, I could see that. We have a funny message in the chat. She should get the citizen tag. That would make me
citizen tag.
Said that. That's great.
It's funny.
Just give her scoundrel.
I'm a little
Just give her
triggered
word.
by it. I'm a little triggered by it because I hated that moment. I was like, when that happened, I was like, Mace, I'm gonna punch you in the face now. Don't you disrespect my girl.
I feel like if you look at what CG has done historically, right? Like they've used tags more so to balance the game, I feel like, than necessarily strictly apply to the lore. So using similar logic and my monetization calculator that I have handy, I would personally much prefer that they give her like a Rebels tag or even a Mandalore tag, or give her a tag for a fraction or a group that's trash right now, right? Like throw her as a lead in with like the Mando characters that we farmed, or Bo-Katan and the other Mandalore characters. Like give her some viability, because I think CG wants to split these squads up, right? They want us to farm new characters that are underutilized today, just like with Mon Mothma. That's what I would love if they did with Ahsoka. Make her make some other squad viable.
So I agree with the logic of making another squad viable. I would really like to see that. And I could see her working with Mandalorians. And I think making her a Mandalorian, though, that's too much of a reach, I think, tag-wise. I'd be surprised if they did that.
What if her lead made Phoenix Squad on point?
Yeah.
I mean, right? There's ways that they could make her relevant and make other tunes relevant.
It would be interesting to see that.
Personally, I think she's going to have a leader ability that works specifically with clone troopers. As for her tags, I doubt she really gets anything other than just light side, because there's really no home for her. But just because you have a vague light side tag and that's it, doesn't mean that they still can't give her synergy. If we look at it, it looks like, we only have 4 501st clones. It looks like we're only going to have 4 Bad Batch clones. You can't just have Gas and Shock being the only 2 leaders for those, because we're seeing a lot of them being pulled into other Jedi squads.
Yeah.
So I could really see her having a leadership ability that is for clone troopers, as the faction is. And she leads clone troopers. And then that way, if you want to use her with the 501st because you're pulling Gas for something else, sure, that works. If you want to use her with the Bad Batch because you're using your 501st and Shock somewhere else, she can work there as well. So I think that for her, she's going to be just a vague light side tag, but she's going to have synergy with the clone troopers through her kit.
I love that.
That's great.
Because you have to remember, the way that they phrased her kit is, even though she has the Rosario Dawson face, she is supposed to be season 7 of the Clone Wars.
Exactly.
Which is exactly why.
Yeah.
Which is why we only are getting 4 for the Bad Batch, is because they're doing the season 7 Bad Batch, which is why I actually don't think we're going to end up getting an Echo for it, unless if it comes after the Bad Batch series.
I'm going to disagree.
So that's my thought.
I think we're definitely getting Echo.
If we get Echo, I think it's going to be after the season is done.
Yeah, that's
because they've listed every single time they do a kit reveal for it, or have gone into the developer insights for any of those Bad Batch characters. Everything is based off of season 7 of the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
and Echo just comes along at the very end. He's not actually part of the Bad Batch until
it looks like
you're closing out that.
So what I'm going to say is, like, if you've watched like the Twitterverse, like they're constantly dropping every day, like new character art, like new teasers and stuff for the Bad Batch show. Echo got one dropped yesterday. So like, while the portrait only shows the 4 of them, I do believe that Echo's going to be the 5th member of Bad Batch.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we're getting mutilated Echo.
And they left the door open for that, right? Like we have other surprises in store, blah, blah, blah. Slightly off topic, but on the line of clones, do you guys think we're going to get 212th Battalion to go with GL Kenobi?
I think eventually we will, but
that would be dope.
I got to head back to work, guys. I just want to say thanks for having me on the channel, Cubs. It was good talking to you guys. And
thanks for joining us, Furball. We're about wrapped up here anyway, so we appreciate you joining.
Okay.
One thing I'll say about Ahsoka, I think I'm the most confused about what they will do with her tag-wise. because I almost, somebody said that maybe she'll just be light side. That's, if I'm going to predict, I think that's what they do. I think she gets light side, maybe attacker, support, whatever she ends up being, and that's it. Because she's not a Jedi. She's not part of the Galactic Republic anymore. She's like I mean, we joke about it, but Mace Windu kind of confirms that because he calls her a citizen, which he was being a jerk when he said that, and I don't like him. But that was what he was communicating to her, like, you're not part of the Galactic Republic anymore. So I think she'll be light side. But my dream and hope, though, is that they look at Ahsoka Tano and shoot for something like a Wat Tambor, or shoot for something like a Grand Admiral Thrawn, where not in terms of what they do, but in terms of how plug and play they are. And I would love to see Ahsoka become an extremely valuable plug and play light side character that can make any light side team better.
Yeah.
It's a mic drop. Nobody can add to that because I'm so right. No, it's fine. What do you guys think about that?
Well, Wat Tambor is one of the most fun characters in the game, and so if they can combine that with a character that most people actually enjoy and care about in Ahsoka Tano, then yeah, let's bring it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the kit would look like. I do like the idea, Cubs. I mean, like, what if
it wouldn't look like Watt's kit at all? It would just have the same kind of flexibility.
What if it's a hybrid, like a kind of Watt's kit where she distributes things, but it's more like Jedi Lessons from Jedi Master Luke, where she distributes like tactical maneuvers or attack skills or something. Like, they could do something fun like that. I think that would actually be pretty cool.
Lots of options. Yep, lots of options. So we'll see what they do. Let us know down in the comments what you guys expect to see from Ahsoka Tano and from the rest of the chat. We covered a lot here. I think by and large, and Furball, I can't speak for him, but he seems pretty excited about what's coming, obviously. But everyone here right now, I think we're all pretty much in the same place where this game just feels like it's in a great place right now. There's a lot of hype. I think there's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, totally. I started streaming on my MacBook. I was so excited. It's just
there is just a ton of player-friendly announcements over the last kind of few weeks. Everything from the rebalancing of the divisions in GAC, a lot of the stuff with the cadence around how things move in and out of Conquest, free Ahsoka Tano, like so many player-friendly moves here.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I do want to just give a tip of the cap to CG. For as much as a player base, we have been negative over the course of these 5 years.
We're emotional.
Right. They have made, over the course of the past year here, you know, since May 4th of last year, they've made, you can see that they've made a real effort to be more player friendly just in general. So I think that really does need to be pointed out, is that as much as we complain about CG and everything that they do, and you know, the predatory nature of some of the spending stuff that they have for it, they have tried to make things a lot more player friendly for people that don't spend, that are new, that are old, for everybody. They're really trying to spread out and be as friendly to everybody as they can be. And I want to just point that out because I don't think it gets mentioned enough right now.
That's a good call out, and I agree with that. I feel like over the last year in particular, they've really done it's you know, like Ur said, there's so much good in that road ahead yesterday, right? Like, and some of it they had to do some downtime to build the new framework or whatever, but I think we're starting to see the benefits of that work, right? Like, they did put in the work, and now it does appear that they do have the tooling in place to actually start cranking out more interesting content and more tunes and stuff like that. And I totally agree with you. Thanks for bringing that up.
All right. I think that's a great place to leave it. So lots of hype. Thank you, CG, for a lot of these changes. I completely echo that sentiment, and I've been mentioning that a lot in my videos, but I just, because it came up, want to just make it clear. I completely agree with that. So I think that's really good to call out at the end here. So, all right, guys, we're going to get out of here. If you guys want to see more whale chats, let me know down in the comments below, and tell me who you want to see most as the next GL. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and as always, my brothers, don't forget,